What's going on, traders? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions. Thank you guys for joining us again for another live stream. For those that are joining us for the first time, feel free to subscribe. We go live every day, Monday through Friday, and then we upload another recap video, giving a couple shout outs to the members within our group, as well as just talking about our best practices and talking about our mistakes to promote overall group growth. The link is provided for you guys down below if you guys are not a part of our group already. We're a little bit over now 31,000 members worldwide. I can't thank you guys again enough for the support. I'm going to be sharing my screen so you guys can see exactly what it is I'm going to be analyzing. Let's kind of get right into it. So market opens in about 19 minutes. So it gives us a pretty good time to plan out our trades and to kind of identify potential. I'm going to dedicate a couple minutes while we're going live to analyze a couple stocks that you guys recommend, and then we'll kind of go from there. So looks so sleepy. Yeah, didn't go to sleep till like 2 o'clock. So it's been a long day, but it's okay. So let's do it. Alrighty, there we go. So this is the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform for those that are going to be asking, and to it. So this is JNUG. Let's go kind of down the list. So the way that I have my watch list set up is from top to bottom. I like to focus on volume. So you can simply click there, and then click it there one more time. And from top to bottom, you'll see the highest volume, and then it'll go down to the lowest volume. So it looks like pretty solid drop from its close at about almost 1380 all the way down 1316. So that's where it built the support. It built a resistance right around 1340, and I kind of expected this. I'm not too sure if you guys remember a couple days ago we talked about AMD actually seeing a pullback. So let's do a 20-day analysis. No, let's do a 180-day analysis. We're talking about these trends that it had, right? It peaked out and it didn't make new highs, and like that's kind of something that we expected. The reason why is this resistance at 1450 was very strong, and it hit somewhat of a support here around like 1350, something like that. But then it had a little bit of a bounce. Then right after that, saw another downward trend, and then I said maybe around $13 to about 1275, we'll see another bounce. So hopefully today would be that bounce, but we're most likely going to get a good amount of panic sellers during the market open. So for those that aren't familiar with the term panic sellers, due to this price change of going from 1380 down to the 1316 price point, people are down for those that held overnight about almost 5%. So there's going to be a good amount of people that are going to start cutting losses or locking in profits that might have bought from a lower price, understanding that there's going to be a higher demand or a lower demand for this actual stock at whatever the price is. And AMD usually sees this pretty often during the market open, that, again, a lot of people start just selling off, sees a pullback, sets a support, and then goes back up and then kind of flatlines throughout the day. So let me see if we can see that out like that on Friday. It was just yesterday. So I do want to talk about this one, Rite Aid. Yesterday we did a very good job calling it out like when it was moving up. So it had a support at 220. We called the support at 220, 222, resistance at 230. It broke that yesterday, hit highs of 240 during pre-market hours, saw a downward trend, built the support, and then today it broke the 240 resistance, made a new resistance at 250. So again, it's making it like moves at about 10% or 10-cent increments. So that's pretty cool. Had a pullback again, built a support at 240. So like we know, old resistance levels become new support levels. This is a perfect example of that, right? And it broke above 250, but it's not holding very well above 250. Hits 252 and had a pullback. I'm guessing a good amount of people are going to start selling off and locking in profits, because if we're going from 230 to 250, that's 10% profit, and I could only, or about 10% profits, about 8.38. So I could only imagine that people are going to want to start locking in profits. And again, this is a Rite Aid corporation, giving us a little bit of a better understanding that I just feel like a sell-off is most likely going to happen. But it comes down to identifying the support for the bounce, right? And then riding it back up. The volume is very low on this one throughout the day. So not always the best stock to try to get in and out of, but definitely a good stock that's showing good just technical supports and resistance. And it's starting to show signs of upward momentum after its solid drop that it's been continuously showing. If we can break above 250, then this is really when it's going to start making moves back up to this $3 resistance. So this could be a good stock to look out for today. Let's see. I'm going to set my alert, so I right click and then I click above 255 and then it will notify me. I'm also going to set my alert because right now it's up. Once it gets a little bit closer to the support, IMUC, huge drop from, wow, that's huge. So one of the rules that we have overall for just trading, especially day trades, we don't allow our day trades to become swing trades, meaning that just because they didn't perform the way that we wanted, it's never a good best practice to hold a stock overnight because it didn't perform the way that you wanted. I feel like a lot of people might have experienced this, and the reason I'm saying this is at a huge gap yesterday, which caused a lot of volume, caused a lot of demand, probably caused a lot of attention, right? Because it broke above $1. I saw a downward trend. People were trying to hope that it bounced back, but again, it comes down to understanding that the IMUC is more of a true low cap stock, true penny stock. Understanding that saw a huge drop all the way down to 53 cents. What does that mean? Well, you guys, for those that held overnight, are down about 56% of your overall account value. And that's why it's so important to understand the importance of not holding a stock overnight when it comes down to these low cap stocks that are designed to only day trade. So I can't stress that enough. I mean, I've definitely been um, in those shoes, and it's probably one of the worst feelings and very discouraging overall when it comes down to um, just trading. Losing 50% of your account, losing all your profits that you've worked so hard for, and it's definitely not an easy thing to go through. So um, just thought I'd talk a little bit about that. Let's see. Okay, yeah, they just reported a lower earning. Way too. Let's see. DGAZ, it's at 22. Holy crud. This thing was trading at 20, what, 24, 24.47. This isn't even a low cap stock. How much down is this? This thing's like down 6%. This is huge. All right, so this is definitely one that if it starts gapping up, so it's at 23 now. And if there's not, I feel like a lot of people are going to just start selling off to cut losses, which might lead to us, even a bigger pullback. But based on previous supports, let's see if I can do a 20-day analysis. 23 is a support. That's usually where it bounces at. And, I mean, 30 is the resistance, but that's a pretty high resistance. I'd say more like 25, 26 is a resistance. And that's where it peaked out at after it bounced, so it's bounced at 23 before. It went below 23, 24, and then it bounced again and then saw a pullback. And that's pretty much it. I actually really like this setup. Let's see if I can kind of get into it during pre-market hours. Give me one quick second, guys. I think we have a pretty decent plan. This being such a high cap stock, I kind of want to see where it is in the 1 minute chart. It looks like it's starting to try to gap back up, but it's tried to do that before and it just doesn't have that success. So maybe I can wait for a break of a resistance, maybe for it to break like above 225 to get a better understanding that I'm getting in at a good buy. Again, I'm using the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform to do my technical analysis, but I'm using Fidelity to actually execute my trades. Give me 1 second. All right, it looks like it's still having somewhat of a pullback. So buy. $23. All right, I can buy 155 shares. I think 155 shares would be fair. Let me look into the news. So Qatar, okay. Well, Qatar blockade. Okay. Switzerland and these. No, it's no real new news. I mean, today's the 18th, so yeah, nothing. Fidelity's like, try our new like simple thing. I think they're trying to compete with um, Robinhood to make it more simple. Let's see. Okay. All right. Not too sure why it's not allowing me to execute on my trade. All right, I'll call them in just a bit. Let me continue going through the live stream. Sorry about that, guys. So it looks like we had a resistance at $18. So if I'm not mistaken, it's starting to actually move up, which is a really good sign. So if JNUG is actually moving up, then JDST must be showing signs of downward momentum. For those that don't know what JDST is the inverse ETF, right? This thing's more at the support, and then JNUG is more at the resistance. Why is this taking so long for it to load? Distance, but if we go a little bit further back, it has a pretty nice little margin to go up. The overall resistance is about $20 before it really starts to see a downward trend, but $18 has been a previous resistance before. We did call out once it broke above $15 that it was more at the support and it was going to start staircasing up, and it's been doing that pretty nicely, just not the way that we wanted it to. So it's kind of just been all over the place. Sometimes it does very well, sometimes it has huge pullbacks. Again, this just has to do with it being a gold-based ETF. I don't think I'm going to be trading. I hate this setup. But it's definitely been shown again signs of upward momentum. Kind of flatlines throughout the day. Has a little drop. Yeah, flatline. Okay. A lot of the performance has to do with the very early morning, and then it kind of just again flatlines. So let's go to rig. Let's see if there's anything there. Again, just continues upward trend. I think this one has the, well, I think it's just about to hit the resistance. Go to a 20-day analysis, resistance at 883, making its way back up. So I think that was like 4% potential that we called out yesterday. Snapchat, again, just trying to hold above $15. It's been pretty scary for those Snapchat traders. Again, but not huge margin for loss. If you guys understand that the lows are 15 and buying in at like 15.10, I mean, you're really risking like less than like half a percent. So nothing huge, and the potential or the upside I think is much greater. So just have a plan when it comes to trading any stock, and try to keep losses as tight as possible. Let's start here in a couple of your guys' stocks, and I'd be more than happy to perform a technical analysis on them. So I do want to thank you guys all for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Explain about some support and resistance. I do have a video explaining what support and resistance are, but to give you a really quick example, let's see, I don't know what, I think DGAZ had a really nice setup when it was like a 20-day analysis. So if we focus here, when it comes down to trying to identify a good buy and a good sell, you want to make sure that you buy at the low points, sell at the high points. When it comes to performing a technical analysis, you want to identify the support and the resistance, where the stock usually bounces at and where the stock usually peaks out at. Why is it that a stock bounces at 23? Well, the demand is usually identified, or this price point at $23 for this actual stock, the price per share. The demand at $23 is identified as a good buy. Therefore, the demand for people to buy it at 23 is so much greater. Therefore, the amount of buyers exceed the amount of sellers, which leads to this price increase. Once it actually increases to $30, the demand for sellers is so much higher, or the amount of sellers are so much higher than the demand for buyers. Therefore, it leads to a price decrease because not necessarily it's not necessarily such a good buy. It's a little bit more overpriced. Just think about like just price valuation, kind of for like the housing market, right? When prices are low, there's going to be more people wanting to buy, which then is going to correlate to more competition and an upward trend in price because that's what it directly correlates to. So when trying to identify a place or a good place to buy, you could identify support and resistance as, to support your case that, okay, 22 or 23 is a good buy point, but don't solely rely on one thing. It comes down to, waiting for the bounce, showing signs of upward momentum, and then using different indicators that meet your criteria to focus on that. So will Snap ever go up? I mean, like, I can't, Robert, what's up, bud? That's like, there's never 100%, you're never 100% sure if a stock is ever going to go up or go down, right? Like you're never 100% sure. When it comes down to Snapchat being a multi-billion-dollar company, and this price decrease was caused due to an underwriter and their overvaluation, and then they wanted to cover their butts, and then they did an undervaluation for Snapchat, which then caused a good amount of people that are trading based on so-called fundamentals of these so-called stocks to create this panic selling, and then it's identified its support at 15. It doesn't matter. Like you have to identify yourself as a day trader or swing trader. Like understand that when it comes out to like, there's always this form of risk and risk within your own means, right? That the overall resistance is at 17 because that was the old support, which is a new resistance. But realistically, then the first resistance is going to be $16. As you can see, that's what it struggled to go above. So let's say you try to get in anywhere around from like 15, 13. And you try to sell around $16. Your potential for profit is about 5.14%. And because you know that $15 is the overall support, if you get in at 513 and you stop loss out at 14.99, that potential for loss is less than 1%. So let's say you are investing $5,000. Because you're investing $5,000 and you buy it in, let's say, for example, at 513, your potential for profit is about 5%, which means that you'll roughly make $250 around there, right? When your potential for loss is about 1%, meaning that you'll lose at most, right, with that stop loss, about $50. So your potential for profit is $250, and your potential for loss is $50. So that's your margin for loss, your potential for profit. Your potential for profit is 5 times greater than your potential for loss. Is that trade worth taking? Is it something safe? I mean, that's pretty much as safe as they come, right? You've identified a support, you've identified a good buy point and a good sell point, and now it just comes down to identifying where you're going to cut your losses and stick to your plan. I like Snapchat hasn't really shown signs of upward momentum, and that's necessarily just it. So that's why I haven't jumped in. I like to invest in something that appreciates in value. So yeah, good question. But it's a penny stock. What's a penny stock? Alrighty, let's see. I've seen a lot of talk on. Oh, okay, this is why it caused a lot of attention last night. So it looks like Netflix was showing a lot of signs of upward momentum, had a huge price increase, resistance at 180. So again, overpriced or overvalued. RSI indicator showing that it's way overvalued. And then there's a support here around 175. Once it drops below 175, you're going to see that a bunch of people are going to start selling off, and we might even get below 160. It comes down to like price valuation. Again, Netflix being a multi-billion-dollar company as well, it's been showing steady signs of upward momentum. This is normal. This really isn't. So I had an earning report, so I'm guessing it did well, but understanding that a lot of hype and a lot of momentum and a lot of people that are day trading it or for short swing trades are trading it, and then that hype or that news is going to die out, which will then allow this stock to slowly just decrease in price and then go back to its normal growth, right? But yeah, actually, Okay, I don't know why it's not allowing me to trade, but I need to get in contact with my Fidelity rep, and Fidelity picks up pretty well. So I want to thank you guys again for watching. I'll continue posting like where I buy in and where I sell within the TechBud Solutions group chat. The link is provided for you guys down below. I do apologize that I have to cut this short, but I want to make sure that I can get into a good position with DGAZ, and it's not allowing me to buy in. So. Um, Okay. But I'll continue to follow up with a series of different alerts within um, our group chat. So I really do appreciate it. And please let me know, if there's anything that I can do for you guys, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to actually help you guys out. But most importantly, continue doing what it is that you guys love, continue working hard. And 3 rules with TechBud Solutions. We don't trade stocks based on someone else's opinion. We don't trade stocks that we don't understand. And then most importantly, always have a plan when it comes to trading. Know where you're buying, know where you're selling, and know where you can cut your losses. I know you guys can hold the group up while I'm going to get on this call with TD Ameritrade. So continue sharing ideas, continue sharing best practices, and let's promote, a welcoming and supportive community for one another. I can't thank you guys enough. ZN just went above 418. So yeah, I'm missing out. So hope you guys have an amazing day. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green up. Take care, guys.